one of the biggest honors ever was I won a race. Maybe it was the last race I even won. I don't know, in 2019. I think it was the last time I won a race. And I was coming, went over the scales, coming out in the front stretch, and over the receiver, Howard Commander goes, "Great job, Danny Watson." And I'm like, well, I must have done something pretty good if
made you look just like your dad.
Yeah. So,
where the hell did I start?
Danny Watson.
Oh yeah, and now we'll go all the way back. Yeah, Danny Watson was the man. That's you now.
Yeah. I don't know. He got his eyes fixed and everything, so he might jump back in the car. He was walking around Blue Street, goes, "Hey, these late model guys have this guy has this." I'm like, "Dad, you only got one eye fixed. This is crazy. Stop. Go back. Put a blinder on that eye."
I always tried to get my dad to do that. I always wanted him to jump in a car, just so I could say I raced with my dad.
Yeah.
You got to do that at least for half a year or 1 year.
We're a couple years. Yeah, we did.
When you first started.
Yeah.
What is it like knowing that, like you said, you're not right now with all the championships you've won and trying to set your own world, you're not Danny Watson's son. You're Jeff Watson, a championship race car driver. You got to race with your dad, but what does it mean to know that you're making your own way in racing?
Well, I'm thankful that he stopped racing and I didn't have to race against him, because I probably wouldn't have any championships. Now, the first time I raced against him, he kicked my ass pretty bad, and he was, he taught me a lot. And you have to be passionate. You can't do this sport half-assed. You can't go into this sport and be, and not put in the work, because there's always somebody out there going to work harder than you, and that's why a lot of times the young guys, because they have all the passion, they have all the drive, they have all the stuff, but I still have that drive. I still have that fire inside me to go out and to be better and to race better. And, we've won championships, but it's still, to me, I want to win more. I want to win more. That's all I want to do, is win a lot of races and win more championships. And it just takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and
with everything that's gone on this past year, you've got a really good team behind you. You've got a lot of good, you've got a core group for your crew and whatnot, but you've also got Paul and all your great sponsors. I mean, talk about having the support that you have behind you that really makes this team go.
Well, I need somebody like a Paul. Paul came on. He takes care of the motor. There's an issue with the motor. He takes care of it, and you need somebody like that. The amount everything costs these days, you can afford to do some of it. You can't do it all yourself. So it does take. It's a group of people. You know what I mean? That helps you get there. And I'm actually proud. I've had a couple of my sponsors that have been with me forever. And one of them was used to be Rolling Rock Farms. Now it's Rolling Rock Salts. He's Tony Carlotti. He does a great job. He makes all these salts, and we probably can't air them, all the names and stuff on them, but he sells them and he does a great job. And there's been a lot of guys like that have helped me. The guys at Fast Axle, Eric Orschel and his father, they've been helping me since pretty much 2001 or 2002. Whenever they started, they started building me axles. So there's a lot of guys like that have been with me throughout the whole thing, and it's an honor that they keep coming back and they keep helping, and even though I've taken time off and come back, and I know, like with Paul taking a chance and helping me out. Paul loves this sport. He loves auto racing. He loves Lebanon Valley Speedway. He didn't know me when he offered me that. I don't know exactly what he wanted to get out of it, but he wanted to help somebody, and he wants to see, the 350 modified class thrive at Lebanon Valley Speedway. He wants to see the modified class thrive at Lebanon Valley Speedway. And for him to take his own money and his family's, hard-earned what they make and help me out, it's great. I couldn't do it without him, that's for sure.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of cars. I mean, you got LJ's got Paul's name on the car. You got Frankie Harper. How is it racing against those two guys? I mean, I know you got the Andy Bicchettis and Jason Harringtons and those guys that you got to race with, but technically those guys are two teammates. I mean, how do you juggle? I mean, are they just another car, or do you have to look at it and go, yeah, I got to be kind of careful?
Yeah. Well, so you know how it is when you're in a race car. Yeah, car's a car. But I've raced with Frank my forever.
Right.
And then we didn't race for a while against each other because I wasn't a sportsman and he was, moved up 3 modified. So I like racing against Frank. Frank is, he's a class act. He's not going to drive through. He's not going to drive India. So you race people like with respect that race you with respect. So, and LJ, I've never had any issue with LJ, but if
LJ's
it came,
his own character.
Yeah, LJ's his own character. Let me tell you, he drives in, harder than anybody else, and you just got to beat him coming off. But no, he, at the end of the day, the last thing I think any guy who puts money into a car and multiple cars wants to see is 3 of their cars in turn 1.
There was one night last year where it was one of those tough nights where everybody was involved in it.
So it's one of those things where you don't want to see that. So you just try to race everybody with respect. But at the end of the day, if LJ's leading the race and we're faster than him, we have to move him. Well,
I'm sure he'll love to hear that. What makes this year a success?
Oh man, hard work. Hard work.
I know everybody wants to win.
What
makes this year a success for you? What makes this the type of year that Jeff Watson is happy with?
Is happy with?
Yeah.
Championship 5 wins. That's what I'd be happy with. Now, what would we take away if we finally win our first 58 race and we were competing for a championship? Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with that. But to make it a complete success, I want to win 5 races and a championship.
With your schedule this year, you've got a brand new PMC sitting over across the way. You've got last year's car sitting here. What is your plans for this year? And do you have? You and I talked about you're going to run some of the crate class, but where are you planning on being this year?
We're going to run the Valley. We're going to take the crate car and run some races at the beginning of the season before the season starts. Malta obviously is a big one that we want to run, and Malta has a lot of good paying races. Lebanon has some good paying sportsman races. I've been wanting to do the Devil's Bowl race forever. I now have 2 cars, so I can finally possibly go up to that Devil's Bowl race that Sunday and try to win some money there. If everything worked out perfect, I'd love to do some stuff at the end of the season too, with one or the other. We don't have the funding; we can't do everything with both cars. But I know that the Albany Saratoga has some 58 races at the end of the year. I'd love to do them if I could. They have some sportsmen races at the end of the year too. So if we're allowed to, we'd like to do.
Outside of, I think, your first year running sportsman and 1 year, a couple years ago, you've been in all PMC cars.
Yep.
You've got a really good relationship with Pete Chucka from PMC.
Yeah.
Talk about working with him and what running his cars, having him be the local chassis dealer. You've had success with his cars, but what is it like having Pete in your corner?
He's a pain in the ass. I hope that makes it.
Yeah, that'll make it too.
Send that to him.
Yeah.
No, he's good. Honestly, anyone can just go out and buy a Bicknell, get a setup, and go race. And a lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people win doing that. LJ, Frank, there's a lot of us that have these cars, but nowhere near as many as the other manufacturers have out there. So I feel as though if we find something, if we hit on something, they're not going to be able to just make a phone call and have what we have. They're not going to be able to just do what we're doing. So I really think that is, I've always liked that. I've always liked to have my own stuff. I've always liked to have, our own ideas. And, the guys at Bicknell, pretty much half the parts on it are Bicknell makes. So I can't say that we don't run Bicknell stuff. So, obviously Bicknell is a huge, support. It doesn't matter what brand your car is, doesn't matter what it is, they make, part for it. So, but at the end of the day, having Pete in my corner, being able to bounce stuff off Pete, he's a heck of a fabricator. He's one of the best welders in the whole entire business, and he puts his heart and soul into this. He really does. And for me, I need someone who answers the phone on Sunday morning. I need somebody who, and he does that. I'll text him, it doesn't matter what time, day or night or whatever. He'll text me back. He'll answer, and it's really, really important. Another thing about Pete, a few years ago, not a lot of people know this, but a few years ago in 2019, I was lazy in my maintenance, messed up, started doing my bearings on a Thursday night. Found out my left rear axle tube was bent. This was 8 o'clock at night. I sent Pete a text, he called me instantly. Said, hey listen, bring it to the shop, we'll put a new axle tube in it. I was just calling him to see if he had an axle tube, I was gonna put it in myself. He was bring it to the shop, put an axle tube in it. So I took it out, brought it to the shop, we did the axle tube, the bell was bent.
Oh, jeez.
He's making phone calls, I was trying to make phone calls, we found a bell. I drove all the way over with Dick Hicks had a bell. It was a used bell, but it was straight. Drove over to Dick Hicks, got a bell. Long story short, Pete Chukta spent his entire Friday making sure my rear end was good. We put it back in the car. The next night we were able to win the race. If he had said, all he would have had to do was say, we can't get one, I can't do it, I never would have been able to do that by myself. So if it wasn't for a guy like Pete Chukta in my corner, I wouldn't, that's just what the guy does for people. So it means a lot.
Another guy you used to have in your corner passed away a couple years ago.
Yep.
Mr. Schumann.
Johnny Schumann.
Talk about what was he like? I mean, because he supported your father for the longest time.
Yep.
The family supported your father for the longest time. And then to have him be a big part of your racing career.
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, you guys did the tribute car. I mean, there's one up on the pictures up on the, or the little models up on the wall, and we've seen pictures of it up on the screen here. I wrote a story about it. Talk about even that. I mean, running that special paint scheme for him and for your dad.
It meant so much to me to actually win in the 10. My dad won not all his races, but won a lot of races in the 10. Johnny Schumann was a 10. The whole Schumann family, basically. Nikki as well. They've done so much. And Johnny, Brian Bedell says this all the time. You need guys in your corner that are. For me, it's you need guys in your corner, Jeff Watson guys. You need guys in your corner and that's what he was. He was a Watson. He whatever we needed, whatever we wanted, including if I messed up, if I did something wrong, if I screwed up, if I whatever. And my father's the same way. They will let me know it, and I need that. You drive in over your head. You're not driving right. You're whatever the situation is. He would always be there to point out, and instead of getting upset or whatever, I would learn from that, understand what happened, and that was a huge part of this whole operation. And not to mention the thing, he spent money, a lot of money on the cars. He, the lettering, I never had to worry about going to a lettering guy. I never had to do nothing. He took it to Mark. He did all his stuff. He took care of all that sort of thing for me, which is a huge deal. And you need guys that do all these jobs. And he did such a great job, and it meant so much to me to win in that 10 car. It really did. I think I embarrassed that car that year because I barely ran in the top 5. We really were off, but we were able to win that race thanks to him. He bought that car right before he passed away, but him and Pete Chukta and my dad, they really put a lot of effort into my racing career. I would not be here if it wasn't for those guys doing what they did.
There's been a lot of talk over the off season about Lebanon Valley Speedway.
Oh yeah.
Just a little bit. Talking about changing the track, putting new clay down on the track, different things about Lebanon Valley. It's always been the high banks at Lebanon Valley. There may be a change to it. We don't know. We won't know until open at night what it's going to look like.
No.
What is it about Lebanon Valley Speedway that is so appealing to you? I mean, earlier you said we will be at Lebanon Valley. Your father has raced at Lebanon Valley for most of his career, if not all of it. What is it about Lebanon Valley that appeals to you so much?
Most of it's the speed. You can't go anywhere else and get the speed you get at Lebanon Valley Speedway. Obviously, location, it's 45 minutes over the hill and we're there. Yeah. So that's a great thing too. My family's raced there, I've raced there, a lot of my friends race there, a lot of people I know, go there from this area. Watch us race. You go to a lot of other places and they're not traveling 2 hours away. They're not traveling to see us. So to get sponsors and get things like that too, you go to Lebanon Valley. But at the end of the day, when you're up next to that fence coming out of 4 and you're hauling the mail down the front stretch, there's nothing like it. There's no other track like it. I mean, you know, I did some asphalt racing a little bit. Thompson's close. Thompson's
very close.
Thompson's close.
I always recognize the same thing. It's had this same long straightaways and tight corners.
Yeah, and you gotta be, you know, you think you're out on the outside, you gotta go up one more lane, but it's a lot of fun. It really, really is, and you know, I told the guys it doesn't matter what they do, Lebanon Valley Speedway. It doesn't. I hope, you know, I'll leave that out of it. But if we race on the opposite way every other race, I'll still be there. So it doesn't matter what's going to happen. We'll be at Lebanon Valley when they open.
One last thing, we talked about it earlier. What would be a success? When we first got here, you had 2 little ones running around, one that wants to be the race car driver and one that doesn't. One's follow dad's footsteps, one doesn't.
Yeah.
Every time I've been over there,
depends on the day though.
It depends on the day. When you're at the racetrack, Sierra, your wife is there, the kids are there. What is it like having the family be so supportive? I mean, everything about this says, that's the way racing has been a lot with family.
In reality, I couldn't do it without those guys. I mean, my wife supports it 100%. I mean, she built this slat thing for Christmas. She bought me these cabinets. You know, my in-laws got me the TV for Christmas just so I could be in this shop and it can be comfortable and we can race and we can do the things we love to do. And those guys support me 110%. Actually, I think my wife she's harder on me than anybody when we don't run good. She lets me know it, you know, and that's good. You need people like that in your corner. And at the end of the day, no matter what happens, she supports me. My kids, my daughter's been able to be a victory lane with me, but my son never has. We've only won 1 race since he's been born. So that would mean everything if I can have all 3 of them in a picture in victory lane, you know, with my dad, and it would really be cool. So my wife's amazing. She does so much for me, and you know, every design of every car, she's got a say in it. Everything we do, she helps. You know, bleeding brakes, she's here helping. You know, it's just like I don't know if she realized this or not, but I gained a crew gal moving the cars to my house.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't move them here till December.
It makes it a lot easier when you can just walk outside rather than drive 15, 20 minutes down the road to work on the car.
That, and like, hey honey, I need a hand real quick. Oh, what do you need? Can you get in there and bleed the brakes? Can you hold this? You know, we were putting the rear end back in here, and I was like, can you just hold this and get this? And she helped me and do all that stuff. So it's great. It really is, and it means a lot to me to have them in my corner and helping me.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go, bro.
Can't wait.